What is your definition of the mandate of the Supreme Court? Kasi meron pong mga pagkakataon na sinasabing ay hindi yan kasama sa dapat naming pagdesisyonan, kaya iiwan na lang namin yan sa mga politiko. What is the mandate of what are the parameters?
Well, the mandate of the Supreme Court is in the Constitution. It's Section 1 of Article 8 of the Constitution. The Constitution of the Philippines is very specific as to what is the mandate of the court. There are two, what we call the ordinary mandate, which is to review ordinary controversies. Controversy, let's say, as to whether a person committed a crime or not. A question of whether a person is indebted or not and whether he should pay. And if so, when, and whether interest should be imposed. We also have expressly provided in the Constitution what we call our extraordinary power. We call that the certiorari power. This power is probably the most controversial part because our Constitution says that the judiciary, not just the Supreme Court, the judiciary has the duty, not just the power, not just a mandate, it's a duty to strike down gravely abusive acts of any branch of any office or branch of government.
How do you intend, this is a question that several have asked me to ask you, and it's a very masa question.
Yes.
How do you intend to help, well, reform the judiciary? I know that's a big question, but alongside that, or under that, would be how do you intend to hasten the judicial process?
Well, first, let me say that I am supporting completely the judicial reform program of Chief Justice Davide. If I may say it at this point, I was with him from day one, from the conception and the preparation and the implementation of that plan. That's why I've been very busy in the court heading 7 committees involved in judicial reform. That's why I even had to be chairman of that last international conference on judicial reform in the Philippines. Now, second, you might ask, but you have only 1 year, what will you do? It's a question of priority. The Davide reform program is very comprehensive, but I will concentrate on 4 items. I call them CIDA, C-I-D-A. C, corruption. I, incompetence. D, delay in the delivery of justice. And
Hooray for that.
And A, access to justice for the poor. So I will concentrate on CIDA, corruption, incompetence, delay, and access to justice. Quite easy to remember. And then also...
And all in 11 months.
Well, I will concentrate on those. I don't think judicial reforms can be done in 11 months or 11 years for that matter. This is a long-term program. And I will also say that while the program of the Chief Justice is comprehensive, I would like to put an end point. Why is it that we want to reform the judiciary? What is the end purpose? To me, it's liberty and democracy. Or rather, liberty and prosperity. The judiciary should work in order to safeguard the liberty of our people and nurture their prosperity.
You are aware of the clamor for independence of the branches of government. Just to reiterate that point or that part, is it something that you are conscious of and would consciously promote both as an image and in actuality? Independence from Malacanang.
Yes, it's not just a clamor, it's a necessity. Independence is a necessity of the judiciary because the judiciary is an independent branch of government and it judges with finality certain controversies that emanate from all sources, including the presidency and even in Congress. Actions of the president may be brought to the courts, particularly the Supreme Court. Our people will trust the Supreme Court only if it's viewed as independent. How can an entity referee a controversy if it is not independent, if it's not objective, if it's not fair?
How do you intend to defend the court from partisan politics?
By being true to our mandate, that we are independent, that we have a court of integrity, a court of transparency, a court that works hard. In other words, what I call the 4 ins of an ideal judge or of an ideal judiciary. These 4 ins are independence, integrity, industry, and intelligence or intellect. A judge must have all four ins.
You intend to be more reachable, friendlier.
I don't want to be compared with the others. I will just say that it's my opinion that the judiciary must, as much as possible, be understood by the public. And we cannot be understood by the public unless the public knows what we are doing.
You are watching an exclusive one-on-one interview with newly appointed Chief Justice Artemio Panganiban. Next, the Chief Justice speaks about separation of powers, his personal history, and what we called a Supreme Court Philippine style. This is tonight on ANC. How would you define the Supreme Court Philippine style?
Well, the Supreme Court Philippine style now was born out of the ashes of martial law. It is the duty of the judiciary to strike down grave abuse of discretion. It is good to have all the things that money can buy, like food on the table, like a car, like even a house. But it's even more important to have the things that money cannot buy, like integrity,